Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Chrome Tour golf ball from Callaway.
Scottie, maybe not a great start, but you seem to battle back. How would you describe this round today?
Gosh, it felt like another frustrating day. I felt like I did some things well out there. I was just a little bit off on my reads most of the day. I had some good putts that just didn't fall. But yeah, like you said, after the start, I did a good job bouncing back and kind of getting back into it. And overall, I didn't shoot myself out of the tournament, which, making bogeys around this place is, could very easily do that. So, proud of the turnaround, but man, I wish I could have gotten a little bit more out of the round.
Yesterday, you kind of said the same thing. You weren't getting the most out of it. Compared to yesterday, how was today? Or was it a lot of the same?
I have no idea.
All right, we're looking ahead to tomorrow. Does game plan alter at all as you try to reel in the lead?
Not really. I mean, like, you look at today, if I get off to, I had the same game plan today. Let's say I have the same game plan tomorrow. I par the first 2 holes instead of bogey them, and I hole a couple putts. I would have had a pretty special round today if that was the case, because I still shot 4 under without really holing anything and getting off to a bad start. So outside of that, I did some good stuff out there. Just got to continue to do that and hole a few more putts.
Is the frustration with yourself and your execution, or what you feel like are bad breaks?
No, it's not bad breaks. I felt like I just was barely off of my reads, like hitting a lot of good putts. Like hit the one on, what do you think? Hit a good putt on 12. It looked like it hopped off something, burned the edge on 13. Made a good one on 15, burned the edge on 16. 17, I hit 2 good shots in there. I'm putting right across the middle of a spine where the ball's just going to break off of it like that all the way to the hole. So that was tough. And then 2 good shots into 18. So overall, I did some good stuff. I just need to capitalize on it.
Do you feel like you're reading too much break or too little break?
If I figured it out, I would have holed some at the end. So I'm going to go hit a couple on the practice green after, then I'll let you know.
Did you hear the starter phonetically incorrect pronounce your name?
Yes, I did.
Rattle you at all?
No, gosh, no.
Have you ever had your name mispronounced at a PGA Tour event?
I feel like I have for sure, yeah.
Okay.
You got a little Schauffele's, didn't you?
Yeah, Schauffele's. people used to call me Xander. It's just par for the course there.
They also said on the broadcast that you were a little bit late to the first tee. Was something happening, or?
Not really. I was maybe a minute later than I normally am. Yeah, no big deal.
Have you been confused for Scottie Scheffler before?
No, actually, that's a first, Todd Lewis. That is a first. It's not the worst.
You said the start was scrappy. Was there a time where you felt like things maybe clicked and started going in a better direction?
Not really. I think I got on a really good run with my putting. I thought like 5 was a great bounce back. I had a really good tee shot and a good shot into the green and a good putt, so I played that hole well. 6, I had 2 good shots in, but then again, like 7, sort of poorish tee shot, got away with it, hold a long putt. I never really, I just think it was never a round that really flowed for me. But it was difficult. I think it was like damp conditions, kind of. Wasn't cold by any means, but obviously different air and windy air, and I just found it a bit more difficult today. But the one thing I was really happy about was my putter. I felt like when I was on the green, talk about flow, like things were going really well. Felt like I was reading them great and in a really good rhythm. So that was good.
You changed to the Spider earlier this year, right?
Yeah.
Were there any changes to the stroke as well, or just a new putter?
No, and honestly, so it was at Hilton Head, and I felt like I was putting pretty good really at the start of the year, but it was a little bit inconsistent, but I was still putting okay, and I got to Hilton Head, and I just felt like trying a different putter, just for something different to look at. I knew I was stroking it well, I was putting okay, but just a different energy really about like my putting. So got on the putting green with James with TaylorMade, and we tried a bunch of different putters, and I ended up with a Spider, which I've never played before, and there was a certain way that the lines worked for me that we'd drawn on that helped me line up and then hit the putt, and that's been great. But I always feel like I do a lot of good things on the greens. I've worked with Phil for a long time. I'm lucky with the team that are behind me with my putting, and the Spider's definitely been a massive help. Like since changing at Hilton Head, I think my putting stats have been really good and feel good on the greens.
You said you've wanted these opportunities. What do you like about the opportunity that you have for tomorrow?
Well, it's where everybody wants to be when you tee it off each week. You want to be in that final group on Sunday, or you want to be in contention. And I love the fact that I'm playing so well. I love the fact that it's, I'm getting rewarded for my work, by being in this position, because we all grind so hard, we all practice so hard, but spend so long where you don't get out of it what you put in. Golf just isn't like that. So, I love that I'm up there again, and it's just another chance. It's another opportunity. It's another day where I get to go out and do what I love and enjoy it and be in contention and just go and hit the golf shots under, what is like the best pressure, if you like. It's, we're trying to win a golf tournament and do something very special. And, there's definitely different pressures than that. There's trying to keep your card or whatever it is. So very excited to go into tomorrow.
And what was the key to bouncing back after 15 with birdies at 16 and 17?
Well, I was, as I was reading my putt on 15, there's a scoreboard, directly behind me, and it's kind of aware-ish of, scores or where I was, but that was staring straight at me. So even with the double bogey at the time, Patrick hadn't, finished with his birdie, so I was still joint leader. Still a great position. It was just, one bad swing on a very tough hole, and that's what can happen. But I stood up. I actually had a great tee shot on 16, and it just went too far. I didn't actually think I could reach the bunker, but I was really happy with the tee shot. Got away with the second shot a little bit. It was inches away from going down that right side, which is always going to be tough from there. But yeah, I was really pleased with how I bounced back. I still had 3 holes to play and still 21 holes of the tournament, and I still felt in a very good frame of mind. So, it's obviously great when it comes off, like you make a couple of birdies after it, but I still felt pretty good.
When did you start working with Phil, and how dramatically would you say the improvement's been since?
Yeah, I started working with Phil really in Memphis, and just a couple little setup changes, nothing too drastic, and I've enjoyed it so far.
How would you describe maybe your season as a whole, and is there something you feel like you're doing specifically better this week than maybe earlier in the year?
Yeah, I'm definitely driving the ball straighter this week, which is really important around here. The rough is very penal, so you can be aggressive if you're playing from the fairway, and I've been able to do that for the most part this week.
Have you felt your game kind of trending these last few weeks, or is this kind of coming out of nowhere for you?
Yeah, no, I think it has. I've been putting in a lot of good work, and so it's nice to see some of that work starting to pay off.
And I know you said you're focusing on this week in the tournament right now, but knowing the Ryder Cup is coming up, like how does it feel to have your game shaping up at the right time?
Yeah, it's always nice to have your game shape up at the end of the year. But like I said, I'm focused 100% on this week, and we'll worry about the Ryder Cup a little later.
Have you ever had any coach for any part of your game outside of Jamie?
I've worked with different folks at different times, but by and large, it's been mostly Jamie.
First putting coach for Phil?
Yeah.
How would you describe? Were you just feel like you weren't getting better, or having trouble finding answers, or what was kind of the state of things when you finally decided to go to Phil?
I feel like, I didn't have any big drop off or anything in my putting, but just trying to find a little edge, try and get a little better. And, I was talking with, a couple guys on tour that work with him, and they spoke very highly of him, so thought I'd give it a shot.
You said pairings and roster and everything have been on your mind a lot, but how have you been able to compartmentalize everything this week?
Not sure. I mean, I caught myself on the range today thinking about something I wanted to tell the team at Bethpage, and if it happens to me throughout the round, I see a guy at the leaderboard, and I remember who we're thinking of pairing them with, and that's great that they're playing good, or I wish they were a little higher, whatever it is. But I don't know. It's been a wild year, so I'm just trying to tackle what's in front of me, and think I've done a good job of that.